Lads, we are one day away from welcoming the PlayStation 5 players here in Darktide, and I am very excited to be welcoming them with open arms to join us here on Tertium. We do, however, have some things that we need to inform our veteran players upon, if you haven't seen it, and our new players upon. The new players, though, this isn't really going to affect you as you don't have your Ogryns yet. However, Ogryns, there will be a talent tree rework and layout change on December 3rd, which is tomorrow, that will reset your talent trees, so you will have to redistribute your talents. Be sure to take yourselves a screenshot so you don't have to worry about that, and make sure you get it all set up right the way you want it. Or try something new. It is always, after all, good to try something new from time to time. Next, we can expect to see a wide increase of Psykers using the Force Greatsword to get that Inuyasha Wind Scar capability, as well as some Zealots running around with the Power Greatsword. So that is going to be a lot of interesting mechanics and changes coming up. We may see a lot of these lads going down as they get used to the new weapons, or not. It will be interesting to see. Psykers, do yourselves a favor when using the Force Greatsword special attack. Be aware of your peril generation. This will get you killed if you're not paying attention, and a lot of us are tired of picking you up when you go boom. Next, Ogryns will be getting some precision capabilities with their heavy stubber. This is a single cannon precision weapon for the Ogryns, and I am very happy to see that being the case. My big lads can finally take out some snipers and let me play with my braced autogun, which is pretty much all I'm doing in today's video. We can also be expecting to see some veteran weapons coming our way as well. I know some of me lads are wondering where our love is coming. It is coming later down the line. So be excited for that, lads. We'll get our love. They're just making us wait for it. As we all know, the Adeptus Administratum is slow to get their shit together and give us the gear we need. And it's even slower under the watchful eye of everyone's favorite obese megalodon. Love you, Fatshark. Now, before we get into a few key things I need you PlayStation players to keep in mind when you come into play, even some Xbox players and PC players still fail at this multiple times on many runs. Shout out to the patrons. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on Patreon. There's a link down in the description if you want to support there. You can also support by becoming a channel member here on YouTube, and you can always support for free by tickling the algorithm's happy buttons, subscribing, commenting, any tips that you have for new blood and old blood that seem to not get the hints anymore. Leave them down below in the comment section. Keep it civil, keep it happy. Let's get into it. Our first little tidbit for good manners, lads, is don't be afraid to pull out your Auspex and help clear the objectives, especially on investigation missions where you have to run around and find the things you need to scan. This game is not that difficult, and scanning all the things on your Auspex are not that hard either to get done. This is a quick portion of the mission, and it is important that you participate in all the objectives with your team. It will help you clear objectives faster and get your team out of the horde even quicker. But more importantly is knowing that when you place down markers such as these are moments where you will have to interrupt your combat and engage in several mini-games within the Auspex. There are many people who feel that these mini-games are too hard and require too much mental capacity. As long as you're as smart as an Ogryn, you can do these. These are not that difficult. This is absolutely one of Fatshark's biggest faults within their game creation, is during the tutorial, they do not have you go through all of these mini games so you know how to do them in the first place. These are not that hard, but absolutely do require your team to cover you and keep enemies off you with all forms of AoE. There are other objectives that require balanced teamwork, such as this in the smelter. taking out the corrupted demons is an important teamwork objective. There are some that are easy to do for solo players, there are others that are not. So knowing your objectives is going to be key. Out of all 4 Auspex minigames, actually it's 5, this is the easiest one. Just land the little thingy in the box. The other one you see rarely because I've rarely seen the train mission on the mission menu lately, but that one is just keeping the circle inside the center with WASD. It's like playing a little bomb defusal minigame, but it's not the best. But it's effective and it gets the job done. The downside with the mini-games that Fatshark has given us is these mini-games takes you out of the action and prevents you from engaging in the actual fun of the game. But it is important that every player takes time to learn these mini-games and to be confident in their ability to do these mini-games. The next skill you need to master is going to be one of such bloody Karking importance that if you fail to master this, you are going to be lambasted by your team and possibly kicked for being a right prick on the field. You need to pay attention to all the details on your screen, especially these ones. These symbols right here denote whether or not your allies have ammunition or are completely out. Red, you're out. Orange, you're on your last mag or 2 mags. Yellow, you've lost a bit of ammunition, not too crazy to worry about. White, they're tapped off. This is going to allow you to make sure that you are sharing ammunition properly with the other lads in your squad and you're not being an ammo hog. There will be voice notifications as well if you are picking up too much ammo and the other lads on the team aren't getting any. You need to be sure that you're not grabbing all the Karking ammo. That doesn't mean you fire off 2 shots, reload, and then you have an excuse to pick up ammo. That's a waste. You're still wasting it. That doesn't mean you go off and you start hucking nades and don't think about who else has grenades. You will see most veterans running grenade replenishment over time skills, which allows the veteran to not have to pick up grenade boxes. You will see many an Ogryn run the rock, which is a great single target kill grenade option for them, which is just chucking a rock. That replenishes over time. There are throwing knives for the zealots that can be picked up from ammo crates now, and Psykers don't get grenades. So knowing exactly what grenades are being used by your team and knowing what exactly they need in terms of pickups is going to be key. Remember, communicate or pay the Karking hell attention to what's going on. To those of you who are going to be playing Psykers, this is very important. And while I don't have any Psyker gameplay today, this is still an important detail. If you are going to be playing a Psyker, remember, you have low toughness, low HP. You need to be aware that you are the glass cannon on the team. You have roles in both support, single target killing, and multi-target killing. However, you also suffer the effects of peril. Peril is what's going to be building up on your screen, causing your vision to blur, and eventually when it reaches 100 and goes over, you are going to detonate. The only skill you have as a Psyker to not detonate is your scream. There is many Psykers that use scream. I personally like it. There are many Psykers who use shield and don't use a lot of force abilities that I've seen in my time playing. Usually the shield Psykers I don't see running a lot of other Psyker weapons. Usually they're running guns or dueling swords. This is all well and good, but you need to manage your peril. And don't take my experience of what I see Psykers running in their peril management. I see plenty of Psykers blowing themselves up no matter what difficulty I'm playing on. A lot of the times for the veterans, it's just not paying attention and being in the zone and forgetting. And it's a whoopsie, and you laugh about it. But for you young bloods, you may catch some flack. All you need to know is if you manage your peril and quell it often enough, you will be in a good position. Going with things that quell peril quickly like force staves and force swords that have a high quell rating, will net you some benefits in the long run to make sure that you are clearing your peril fast enough for you to keep using your force abilities, which are your bread and butter. And my last tip for you is going to be a very simple one. Play the game before you start looking online for meta builds to help you solo and blah 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 bullshit. This game is not meant to be solo. Nobody but you gives a fuck on how well you've done playing solo mode in a team-based shooter. Focus on learning the mechanics of the game. One of the best weapons that you can use if you are the standard size classes is the Devil's Sword and learning its parry. Its parry can be used to protect and save you against enemies like the Plague Ogryn and the Chaos Spawn, as well as parrying demon hosts. Does that mean you should be engaging in demon host parry battles before you actually really understand how they play? No. But keep in mind, learning your Devil's Claw is going to help you in the long run as you start experimenting with other weapons and their special attacks. This game is rich in its experimentability and is very fun to play and experiment with. Do not feel like you need to sweat neck on the higher levels. Play on what feels comfortable for you. And do not, please, do not go into heresy or damnation until you're in your level 20 to 25 for heresy and 25 to 30 and damnation. And when you're going into damnation at 25 to 30, if your gear is not good, you are going to bring the team down. You need to be able to understand the difficulties that you're going into. So please be aware of that, lads. Don't just jump into things thinking that you can dive right into it without a good amount of weapons at your disposal or mastery at your disposal. And choosing the right mastery and the right weapons for you and how you're playing and your build is going to be key to your survival. Alright, that's it for my tips. There is going to be... Oh, you know what? No, I got one more tip for you. Final tip. When an ammo crate is placed on the ground, you get one dip into it. Not two, not three, not all four, one. There is enough ammo to fill everyone's pockets to full one time. So there is enough refills for everyone in the squad. Do not dip into it more than once without asking. Good manners. It's just good Karking manners. Right, take care of yourselves, lads. Thank you so much for joining me today, lads. If you've got more tips, as I said, leave them down in the comments. Don't forget to share. Take care, lads. Stay healthy. Stay happy. Peace.